Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to our interesting show. And remember, this is the best disability show in the world. Why? Because we are always championing for inclusivity, disability inclusion. Mheshimiwa, we are somewhere.
Yes, so we
and
were
we're getting somewhere interesting, like meeting someone,
yeah,
you know. So people think there are these misconceptions about disability. And actually, people think it is so difficult. I don't know if it's true or not. Maybe you'll tell us today to get a partner, and especially so to settle down and have a family.
Yeah,
how was it for you?
It is difficult.
Okay.
Because first you start by doubting yourself. Will you be accepted by other people? And if you are accepted by whoever you are in love with, will their parents accept you? Will their friends accept you even before you come to the parents? So yeah, there's a challenge there, Maureen. And also isikuwe ni kama unauzua mapenzi. You get, huh? That too also. Are you overcompensating for what you feel is inadequate? Yeah. So my journey is I have always been popular. Let me not lie to you. No, in terms of getting girls. No, that's not.
You didn't get any problem.
No. That one I can tell you.
You've never.
It's a personality issue.
Yes.
At that point in time, but then it is about the friends. So I remember there's a girl that we met, and there were no phones like we have now. Way back, I mean, it was not popular to get. I mean, people who had what do you call it, phones, mobile phones, were the bourgeois. They were the people who had money, and I think you can relate to that. This is around 2000, 2001 there.
Yes.
I mean, mobile phones were not many.
Those days of Nokia was there.
Yeah.
Those days of this phone which used to light up, be red, some kind
of Motorola. Those days of Nokia. So I met a girl. My first girlfriend had albinism. Those are high school flames. But that is just jokes. She was called Mudeu. Mudeu was from Kituyu, so
from my village.
Yeah, she was a bright girl. I think she even got a first class, so she was very bright. But then that was just innocent. And others that I met when I was a teenager. But it was not serious. Those ones were just painful. Like you write a letter to someone in a girls' school that you like,
and you put some perfume on it.
Yeah, and some sweets and anyway, and some 100 bob, those kind of things. Yes. And funny enough that the postmaster never used to get to know that you've sent some money through the phone. So, but then also now when less conscious, I remember this girl who I met in campus later on, because I didn't get her number, but I knew something told me that this girl, you miss some. And for sure, we ended up at the same university. And we didn't even share that we were going to the same university. But then I loved her, but then her friends were discouraging her from, becoming my girlfriend. But we became a boyfriend and a girlfriend. In fact, we were two guys that were competing for her. But
you won.
I won. I won. I beat the guy to his game. But then also another one who we had met in high school, but then later on became good friends. She was being discouraged from being my friend because, interestingly, this one was even painful because the parents used to know my mother. Like they had known it for over 20 years. But then the girl was being asked, will you get blue or green babies? That was very mean, isn't it? So they were our neighbors, yes. But yeah, of course, we didn't go far with that, but it's not because of that. She was okay. So there were those challenges around other people discouraging those girls that wanted me or I wanted them. But in terms of me getting a girl, no, I was very popular. No, there's no question. I can tell you for sure. Yeah, in fact, other men were envious. They were asking, and when I was in campus, for example,
can't believe this.
Because I was a student leader, you see the top player thing, like you get the best. So you have free food, free accommodation, and a very huge, room to myself with a TV and carpet and whatever. So I was popular. I was a good guy.
Living like a king.
Yeah. I have had a good time for sure. I will not lie to you, and I'm not bragging.
Wow.
So there was, but so by the time I came to date, to find my wife, I knew from the word go, I knew that she was going to be the one. So we dated.
So you met in
No, we met
in
with a
campus?
mutual friend. I came to meet my wife in 2012. At that time, I was 30 years old. I was already finished with campus.
Oh,
I was
okay.
already finished with both of my master's degrees. Yeah, because I did my 2 master's degrees in 2 different countries back to back, and I was still an advisor in the office of the prime minister. So I met him through a mutual friend.
Oh.
You know, my friend Washington went to brag in his class of the University of Nairobi that he knows famous people because I had appeared on a newspaper. And then, of course, my wife went to a school which had the deaf students in high school.
Oh, okay.
So she was able to interact more.
She wasn't new in the disability world.
Yes, so she had friends who were deaf.
Yes.
So, and so when she was doing her political science class at the University of Nairobi, so she would associate with Akina Washington. Washington is now a commissioner with the Commission for Administrative Justice, Washington Osati. I can name him because he's known. So Washington is the one who linked us up.
Oh, wow.
And the rest is, so I would look at her and say, oh, this is a very beautiful girl. Oh. So we met. We dated for some time. Then I told her, you're too young. Yeah, I want to get married. Go away. But I knew somehow that she belonged to me. And we called each other, I think, in 2014. And within a year, we got married. Yeah? Wow. The rest is history. We've been married now for 8 years. We've had our ups and downs. But we are happy. We have one son called Jiro. He's now 6 years. He'll be turning 7 in January. He's now in grade 1, finishing his grade 1 now because he's going for his 3rd term. We had gotten triplets because also when I got married, my political competitors were saying that people like myself are infertile.
Oh, no.
And yeah, they were using very bad terms. But God is wonderful. Our first pregnancy, and we got triplets, 2 boys and 1 girl. It's just that they did not survive.
Oh, no.
Because they came preterm at the age of 28. At the 28 weeks.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, so it was a traumatizing experience. Very traumatizing in 2017. Very traumatizing. Yeah. But the point is, yeah, and you know, also, our wedding was also a spectacle because it's the first wedding ever to have a photo shoot at State House with the president.
Oh.
Yeah. It has never happened. Shoot. Yeah. Yeah, with the President Uhuru.
Wow.
Like, you know, it was the first. It has never happened.
Wow.
In the history of this republic.
My goodness. Yeah. And she didn't get any discouragement from the family and all that, or you were able to overcome that? Because people would wonder, how?
I think she can, I think first of all, because of her having been with the deaf, that's okay. But also, she has her own story to tell. Yeah, she has her own story to tell, which is very interesting. Yeah. So it wasn't new because also, in her locality, the sister, her elder sister, had a friend who had albinism in their own, who was called Nyaga. I met him later on. So, and they were very good friends, and the sister liked her a lot. So I think it was not new to have a person with albinism within their neighborhood. Yeah. But of course, I'm sure there may have been 1 or 2 people who discouraged her. But to be very sincere and very honest, I didn't face resistance from their side.
Wow.
No. Only that when I first went to be introduced by her to the sister, the sister was a bit hard on me, said, now, I hope you are serious with my sister. It's not like the way politicians. Yeah, but it was also hard for me when I was getting married, because by the time I got married, I was in a member of parliament. Yeah. So, but then you see, you marry your friend, so she was my friend. Because even when we broke up, we still continued being very good friends.
Yes.
Yeah. So, but I had my own fears also. My fear was that would I be accepted by their family? That one it was constant, and it is there with anyone with any form of disability. Will they be accepted by the other side? Yeah, that one is a constant issue. So for us, I think yes, there are many people with albinism who had gotten married before. In fact, in 2011, when we were commemorating the National Albinism Day, I helped bring out a story for a gentleman who is a clinical officer, dermatologist at the KNH, and the wife is a nurse. It was like the main story in one of the dailies, and they were surprised that they were thrust into the limelight. many people don't like to share their story. And sharing one's story is an act of courage. So for me and my wife, it was really the first time that people were seeing very publicly a person with albinism getting married to one without albinism, at least for many Kenyans.
Yes.
And since that time, I've seen a lot of tremendous change.
Wow.
In terms of people now coming out forward. And it's out of that I also now started the Miss and Miss Albinism, just to break the glass ceiling, to self-define. It's been extremely successful. We did the first one in 2016. Imagine, I'd just been married in 2015. I remember in the December of 2015, when I got married in June, the Christmas card for Safaricom that year was a guy with albinism holding on to, lifting a woman with albinism. Wow. Those were our honeymoon photos. So for a whole Safaricom company to embrace, because it only came from our, that was quite a statement. And in that same year, 2015, I think I was listed as a person of the year. I think the whole issue for me, I see myself as a trailblazer.
Yes.
A pioneer, because I have had many firsts. But a lot now are coming up and occupying those spaces. Like, I'm very proud because the first employee with albinism at ASK, Albinism South of Kenya, is now a member of parliament. And he was staying in Kangemi there. He cried to me that he was being discriminated to get a job. Together with another one who is an MCA now. I drilled them every morning. I would give them lectures and show them the way. Because I knew also for me, I needed to mentor other people to go beyond what I would do. Today I'm very proud. One of them is second-term MCA, the other one is a member of the National Assembly, Martin Pepela, Wanyonyi. So that for me is a culmination of the work that I've been able to do. The fact that we have Golden Kakuya, who was the best in KCP in 2017, again, is a very great win. We got her scholarship to go and study at Brookhouse. Now she's at the USIU, doing her degree in epidemiology. It's in an area that many people are not able to study. So it's really like a first. And being popular in the public domain. People find you relatable, beyond the fact that they would pick on you on the basis of albinism. I think that and there's also a point of reference. You get, there's a point of reference where people can say, I know someone and can do something. You may differ with them politically, but that's the point of view.
Wow. I don't know, Mheshimiwa, if you've faced any kind of discrimination as a legislator and how you've been able to overcome that, so that now you are able to represent your people.
Yes, but maybe before we come to that, the issue of family and provisioning, it is important.
Yes.
That people are able to find jobs.
Yes.
And that is why the Constitution talks about 5% of all employment should be reserved for persons with disabilities.
Yes.
And that has really helped. So what have we done? In 2005, we started the performance contracting. We were trained at Utalivia. We were among the first cohort of people to be trained. In 2009, when I was at the National Council for Persons with Disabilities, we had disability mainstreaming as an indicator. Remember, in the 2003 Act, Disability Act has that 5% as well, in Section 13 of the Act. The Council is supposed to secure the reservation of 5% of all casual, emergency, and contractual employment, both in public and private sector, be for persons with disabilities. It's easier said than done. The last audit that was done last year in the public service, by the time we started in 2009, there were only 0.2% people with disabilities. Now it's 1.4. So within about 10 years, we've done about 10, 11, 12 years, we've done about 1.2%. But it has been extreme, very low. So we are yet to reach 5%. Safaricom has 3%. Other organizations would vary. But to be sincere, we need to do more. So disability mainstreaming, therefore, is a very good entry point to ensure those with disabilities are able to get employment. So my experience in politics is that when I joined ODM, people could not even shake my hand. Or when they would shake my hand, they would wipe it off. Because they thought this albinism is contagious.
Are you serious?
Yes, yes, yes. In fact, I remember one day, I raised my hand to speak, and the then member for Ugenya, Archbishop Stephen Ondieki, Bishop, told me to put my hand down, that people like myself were not allowed to speak there. And then he sarcastically asked me whether I was from Murang'a.
Oh, no.
You know, I was a Kikuyu also, in
no.
a predominantly an Kikuyu meeting. But at that also the time I met Akina Uhuru Kenyatta and all these leaders, of course, all of them, even William Ruto. So if I came from somebody who could not be allowed to speak to someone who could read statements by the time I was done in some of those quarters. So discrimination is there. Or like when you... Stigma, yeah.
Still there?
Because they wouldn't deal with you. They can't understand you. Even the kind of language they use against you is gross.
The name calling and all?
Yeah. So there is a such systemic discrimination that is there, and people feel like you had gotten more than you deserve. You understand? Eh? Yeah. Even when they know you are gifted and talented, because you know you are, and you have to be proud of what God has given you.
Yes.
But then they would be able to make you feel like you are less deserving because you are representing a disadvantaged group of people. I remember, for example, when I was running for ODM in 2014, there was the issue of vying to have new officials. And I I offered myself to run for Deputy Secretary General. To cut a long story short, the people I was running with, who you know very well, some have been governors, some are ministers, they came up with an idea that I couldn't win the election themselves.
Why?
Yet the evidence was to the contrary. I was actually winning with a landslide.